the process and the product, but you don't see the process. You only sense the process. So you go in a flow. Let's say you have an experience in a day. I guess I'm speaking for myself. And it leads me on another journey. And I do work with my materials, and I do enough pieces until I say I've said what I want to say. I have nothing more to say about that. But while I was on the way, something was calling my name. And I said, now I have time to explore this other thing that I saw while I was exploring in my process. And sometimes it's really hard while you're on this journey to complete this process that you started, because this other thing is so seductive. And you say to yourself, do I want to follow that? Or do I want to stay on this journey that I'm on?
So we had a discussion last night at a relative, or Emmy's exhibition. And I said my work is both visceral and conceptual. And they said, no, your work's just visceral. It's not so conceptual. But I think it is conceptual, especially when I look back at the collective awareness that I now feel about different artists that I feel are kind of my soulmates. Yves Klein, who worked in blue, and the blue represented the heavens and eternity, and other artists did things to represent infinity. I've had, most of the work here is from the solar group, of the solar series that I did, and it's solar, S-O-L-A-R, / solar, S-O-U-L-A-R. So I think maybe I'm thinking about eternity and infinity, and science has always been a part of what I do. I think that's kind of wraps it up. You can all clap. I did ask Dan, did you bring that quotation along?
Oh, yeah.
We had a debate about this a couple of minutes ago.
Actually gave us some thought afterwards.
He saw this stated at an art show. I disagree with it, but some.
So let Stan read it.
You can't disagree with all of it, and some of it may have been misinterpreted.
That's true.
To be an artist, and this was on the wall of a gallery of a show. To be an artist includes much. One must possess many gifts, absolute gifts, which have not been acquired by one's efforts. And moreover, to succeed, the artist must possess the courageous soul. This comes from a woman, Kate Chopin, who, in a book, The Awakening. And the part that, if I may say, that Alan disagreed with was to be an artist includes much, what one must possess, many gifts, absolute gifts, which have not been acquired by one's effort. If you take that literally, it means there wasn't much work involved. But if you take it and look at it from a point of view where there's a piece in you that possesses the potential. For example, great artists, they have that ability in them. It doesn't require any effort because it's there. What requires the effort is using that ability and building on it. And I don't think she mentioned that. And that's kind of the way I took it. When I look at all this work and listen to you, each of these paintings is built on the shoulders of another painting and another system and another back to when you started, or maybe your birth, and they're building one another. That took great effort. It didn't just come, but what created it had to be something that took no effort, that was innate within you, that you brought out. And to me, all these paintings, to me, bring out a piece of your soul. I mean, you look at them and you're in there, and I just think that's really what you're looking at. Really, if you study any of these, you're looking at what's inside you. And so, yes, it does take effort, and I disagree with that line in here, but she may not have been referring to that effort part, but to what, you know, whoever did the Sistine Chapel, he took no effort to learn how to paint. He took a lot of effort to get to that point, but it was there within him.
I guess you could say that if we want to agree with her statement more fully, you could say that we were born with this potential.
Yeah.
I think if you put it that way, that, yeah, I didn't have the potential to write a novel. I didn't have the potential to play a musical instrument properly. But this is where my potential was. So that part I get. But then you have to do the 10,000 hours.
Absolutely.
John?
I have a story that might relate to that. It's sort of like a seed inside of you that you don't necessarily know is there.
Right.
When I was in 5th grade, there was this new scientific discovery called videotape. And, our 5th grade teacher was kind of a hippie, and so she had us sing a little French song about what we were going to become, you know, and be videotaped doing it. And we each had to make a little picture about what it was that we were going to become. Well, all I knew was my dad was a chemist, you know, so the song that I made up was, I'm going to be a chemist. And for my picture, the thing that fascinated me about chemistry was all the flasks and forms and retorts and colors of chemicals and stuff. So that's what my picture was. And there I was saying, I'm going to be a chemist, and holding up this very complex, you know, image. And so there was something in there that I didn't know about yet. But it, you know,
I'm still looking for my seat.
yeah.
Well, I did major in chemistry, but there was too many explosions. The graduate,
I got a chemistry out of this crap.
the graduate students were having problems, fires, explosions. I don't think this is for me. So did anyone not get a question in or wants a question? David, I'm doing my best to come up with it. And I may not come up with a proper answer.
It's not an answer for every question. It's fine.
When you were talking about that you have conceptual things that come out of you, I would have pointed to that thing. The particulate matter, there's clearly conceptual stuff there.
A lot of stuff comes out of me from when I studied science.
Sure.
A lot of stuff comes out when I studied histology and tissues, and there's gorgeous, in medicine and science, there's a lot of very interesting forms and colors that are visible on an electron microscopy and stuff like that. And that'll just pop out. And as I say, this abstract expression is all about discovering me and what's really important, and it just comes out in a spontaneous, unfiltered way. John?
Well, the question and answer period thing I've been saving up is, you know, we've had the monolith in here for weeks, and like a day and a half ago, one of our friends looked at it and said, look, there's little tiny people in there. And I just would like, you know, I don't think it relates to all of them, but anecdotally, what is that? Is that Super 8 film, or what? They appear to be little fragments of movies that are underneath that give it that tire track pattern. What's
Well,
the
it reminds
evolution
me
of
of
that piece?
my dear friend who's deceased now, Connie Swenson, who always used to paint together. She would say, "Oh, I see a little parrot." Or she said, and she would always find stuff, because she was looking for stuff. I'm not looking for stuff, but now that I know that, I mean, I can't see the people in there, but...
No, they literally are there. Those are strips of film with images on them. And the only other one is, there's some stuff under here, but that is literally a strip of film. Is that how you started that?
Yes, well, but that's irrelevant to the piece, in fact. It's just, what that is about is repetition. That's about repetition. It's just a repetition of form. And one of the people that I was looking at in my studies of art history, he thought that the repetition of form is kind of like prayer.
It's meditation.
Meditation. And different artists work and they feel like their dream comes into their work. I had the whole show I had at Westchester University, I called Dreaming. And because when I'm really working, I'll just put this one thing out. When I'm really working my best, I'm in the zone, as it were. I'm just unconscious and working and working and working. And things happen, good things and bad things happen. So it's not totally about being spontaneous and working by chance and so forth. At the conclusion, there is always a period of conscious, rational thinking, and that's where you need to have some knowledge about what you're doing. So it's the artistry comes in the spontaneous, when you're in that spontaneous place. But the fact to make it pull together and work, that requires some thought at the end, and some knowledge, So, that was just a joke. That was just a joke.
You know, in the advertisement, you had yourself listed as master of the
Abstraction.
abstract.
That was I did not say that.
Okay.
I accept it, but I did not say
Yeah, because that's the same wording, for example, when you hear this expert, quote-unquote, lecture, and you say to yourself, well, there is no expert in this, you know. But I must say, coming back to that and having some question about it to begin with, and seeing how much you worked beforehand, I really think that you are the master of abstract. I mean, the work is I wouldn't call it, it's not beautiful, it's soul, it's thoughtful. And,
Gravitas.
That's a good word.
yeah, and it's actually a pleasure to look at. And it'd be interesting to take 2 or 3 pieces and have 10 different people write what you think about it. And because there's a lot to think about it, and it just brings out, you know, what you are. So my congratulations on what I think is beautiful work.
Thank you.
One of the other workshops that we're involved in is called Creating from Passion, and actually our collaborator, Katana, has shown up for creating here. She's a psychologist, and we work with her. And one of the things that we believe is that unless the work comes from a place of passion, or intellect, but someplace powerful, that it's one of those just pretty pieces that you walk by and whenever we teach, in case anybody ever want to study and you just do like flowers, just pretty flowers, you're going to get an earful from me, unless you're a horticulturist and it's like the biggest thing in your life. But to me, that's like a default position that people take because they don't want to really expose themselves in any way. Just a bunch of pretty flowers. So I'm not trying to make just a bunch of pretty paintings. I do want them to be rich and luminous. I want them to have a very rich feel and create some kind of a feel for you so that you can't just walk by them too quickly.
Have you been inspired by the recent findings of the collision of the black holes?
You know, I just heard about it like yesterday, I think. So I haven't